In the vast, sun-baked grasslands of Kutch, Gujarat, a profound silence has reigned for over a decade. This was not the peaceful quiet of an untouched wilderness. It was the heavy silence of absence, a void left by a magnificent bird, the Great Indian Bustard. Once its calls echoed across these plains, but year after year the nests remained empty. The last time a chick's cry was heard here was a distant, fading memory. The land and the people who protect it waited, they hoped. They watched the last 3 female bustards of Gujarat, a lonely trio in a landscape that was once their kingdom. Then, on a day etched into the history of Indian conservation, the silence was broken. A tiny, high-pitched chirp pierced the air. It was a sound almost too small for the immense hope it carried. A chick, fuzzy and fragile, had hatched. This was not just any birth, it was a resurrection, a single precious life representing a decade of longing and a future that had seemed all but lost. For the forest guards, the scientists and the local communities who had kept vigil, this small cry was the loudest, most beautiful sound in the world. It was the sound of a second chance. The landscape itself seemed to hold its breath. The arid plains of Kutch, with their thorny shrubs and scattered acacia trees, are a tough place to survive. This is a land of extreme heat and little water. Yet, it is the perfect habitat for the Great Indian Bustard, a bird built for these challenging conditions. This chick's arrival was a testament to the resilience of life. It was a sign that even in the harshest of environments, with dedicated human effort, miracles can happen. The desert, which had witnessed the species' slow decline, was now the stage for its potential comeback, a story of hope written in the dust. The news spread like a welcome monsoon wind. From the dusty field outposts to the bustling offices in the state capital, a wave of relief and quiet celebration took hold. This was more than just a successful conservation project. It was a deeply emotional moment for everyone involved. For years, they had fought a battle against immense odds, watching as the numbers of this iconic bird dwindled. The hatching of this one chick felt like a personal victory for every person who had ever worried about the fate of the Great Indian Bustard. It was a powerful reminder that the fight to save a species is a fight for hope itself. Hello friends, welcome to Moradabad Wildlife Window, where every day opens a new window into the wild world. Come along with us to explore the amazing wildlife stories of Moradabad and its surroundings. To understand the joy of this single hatching, one must first understand the depth of the crisis. The Great Indian Bustard, or GIB, is one of the heaviest flying birds in the world. It is a majestic creature, a symbol of India's grassland ecosystems. Yet, its numbers have plummeted dramatically. From thousands spread across the subcontinent, the population has shrunk to a terrifying low of around 150 individuals. In Gujarat, the situation was even more dire. Only 3 birds remained, and all of them were female. Without a male, there was no natural way for them to reproduce. The species was functionally extinct in the state. The threats facing the Great Indian Bustard are many and relentless. Its grassland habitat has been shrinking rapidly. These vast open spaces are often seen as wastelands and are converted for agriculture, industry, and infrastructure. What little habitat remains is fragmented, broken up by roads and fences. Power lines crisscrossing the landscape are a death trap. The birds, with their poor frontal vision and heavy bodies, cannot see the thin wires in time. They collide with them and are electrocuted, a major cause of adult bustard mortality. Historical hunting and poaching have also taken a heavy toll on the slow-breeding species. The bird's own biology makes it vulnerable. The Great Indian Bustard has a very low breeding rate. Females typically lay only 1 egg per year, and the survival rate for chicks is naturally low due to predation and other environmental factors. In Gujarat, the problem was compounded. For years, the lone females would dutifully lay their eggs, but these eggs were always infertile. It was a heartbreaking cycle of hope and disappointment. Each empty nest was a stark reminder that time was running out. The genetic lineage of Gujarat's bustards was on the very edge of disappearing forever. The Great Indian Bustard is not just another bird, it is a flagship species. Its presence indicates the health of the grassland ecosystem, which supports a huge amount of biodiversity, from insects to reptiles to mammals like the blackbuck. These grasslands also play a crucial role in recharging groundwater and supporting local pastoral communities. Losing the bustard would mean losing a critical part of India's natural heritage and signaling the collapse of an entire ecosystem. The bird is protected under the highest level of Indian law, the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. But laws alone could not save it from the brink. Faced with the certainty of extinction in Gujarat, conservationists had to think outside the box. They needed a bold, innovative solution. The answer came in the form of a technique called jumpstart conservation. The plan was audacious. Since Gujarat had only females, and neighboring Rajasthan had a small but breeding population, the idea was to bring a fertile egg from Rajasthan and place it in the nest of one of Gujarat's females. The hope was that the female's strong maternal instincts would kick in, and she would accept the foreign egg, incubate it, and raise the chick as her own. The execution of this plan was a masterpiece of coordination and care. First, a team in Rajasthan had to identify a freshly laid, fertile egg in the wild, a difficult task in itself. Once located, the egg became the world's most precious cargo. It was placed in a custom-built, solar-powered portable incubator. This device maintained the perfect temperature and humidity, mimicking the warmth of a mother bird. The journey from the deserts of Rajasthan to the grasslands of Kutch was a race against time. Every bump in the road, every change in temperature, was a potential risk. The team carrying the egg felt the weight of an entire species on their shoulders. This was not a solo effort. It was a remarkable example of teamwork between different government bodies and scientific institutions. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change provided the overarching support. The forest departments of Gujarat and Rajasthan worked seamlessly together, sharing resources and expertise. Scientists from the Wildlife Institute of India provided the technical knowledge, guiding every step of the process, from handling the egg to monitoring the bustard mothers. Local field staff, with their invaluable knowledge of the terrain and the bird's behavior, were the eyes and ears on the ground, working tirelessly around the clock. Once the egg arrived in Kutch, the most delicate part of the operation began. The team had to wait for one of the Gujarat females to lay her own infertile egg. When she did, and briefly left the nest, they had a tiny window of opportunity. In a swift, carefully practiced maneuver, they replaced the infertile egg with the viable one from Rajasthan. Then, everyone retreated and held their breath. Would the female notice the switch? Would she reject the new egg? The tension was immense. To their profound relief, the female returned and settled down on the nest, none the wiser. The first major hurdle had been cleared. The days that followed the egg swap were filled with anxious waiting. The female bustard proved to be a devoted mother, diligently incubating the egg through the scorching heat of the day and the cool of the night. Teams of scientists and forest guards monitored her from a safe distance, using high-powered binoculars and cameras. They watched her every move, praying that nothing would disturb her. The fate of the project rested on this wild bird's instincts, and she did not disappoint. After about 25 days of incubation, the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. The egg hatched. The birth of the chick was a watershed moment for conservation in India. It was the first time this jumpstart method had been successfully used for the Great Indian Bustard in the wild. The sound of the chick's first cries was met with tears of joy and sighs of relief from the monitoring team. It was a triumph of science, dedication, and interagency collaboration. This tiny bird, a genetic import from Rajasthan, was now officially a Gujarati. It represented a crucial infusion of new life into a population that had been a dead end. It proved that with innovative thinking and determined effort, it was possible to pull a species back from the brink. This success is more than just a single chick. It is a blueprint for the future. It has opened up a new front in the war to save the Great Indian Bustard. The technique can be replicated, potentially bringing more chicks into the Gujarat population and even reintroducing the bird to areas where it has vanished. It complements the ongoing captive breeding programs, providing a faster way to boost wild populations. The emotional and symbolic power of this event has also been immense, reigniting hope and galvanizing public support for the conservation of India's grasslands and their unique wildlife. However, the journey is far from over. The survival of this chick and the future of its species depend on our continued commitment. We must intensify our efforts to protect and restore their grassland habitats. We must work with power companies to bury lines underground or install bird flight diverters to prevent collisions. We must continue to support the scientific research and the dedicated people on the ground. This chick's cry was a call for help that we finally answered. Now we must ensure that the grasslands of India will echo with the calls of many more Great Indian Bustards for generations to come. Quick exam question. Which IUCN category does the Great Indian Bustard belong to? The answer is Critically Endangered. If you enjoyed our wildlife journey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Join Moradabad Wildlife Window and experience new adventures in nature every day. See you in the next episode.